I walk into the weed store and I say to the lady, I'm like, how many times a day does someone come in here and go, oh, it smells good in here?
That's pretty
proud of that.
Not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Oops, the podcast. I am Julio. He is Francis.
C'est moi.
What's up, dude?
Je suis Francis.
Je suis Julio.
I'm here. We're not queer. Thinking about it.
Sure are.
Saw a really jacked guy today.
How was that?
Haven't been able to stop thinking about him.
How did he look?
Well, he was wearing a t-shirt that looked like it was his daughter's t-shirt. You know, you ever see a guy with such a good body that it looks like he's borrowed clothing from his daughter? You know?
Because just nothing could possibly fit him.
Fucking huge, man. Yeah, they don't make a shirt that even in the body, if it fits, the sleeves are just not. They look like, they look like tourniquets.
So do you ever start thinking like what that guy had to do to like? Are you? Because you know that guy Nick Simmons?
No, but you've told me about this guy.
Yeah, he's a comic. He's like a bodybuilder effectively, and they do a thing on their podcast where they will discuss whether or not people are natty.
Right.
Which
love that.
do you think about that too?
No, not really. I kind of I just assume every really hulky guy I see is doing it the right way, unless they look preposterous.
Right.
Where way too vascular, veins
right
plugging out of their neck. I don't know, but this dude was just. He looked kind of like a linebacker in the middle of the season.
Okay.
He just looked like a pro athlete, which made me think he's either a personal trainer or, something of that ilk.
Something where like
something fitness. You don't
he's
look
spending
that,
a lot of his day on it.
Yeah, you need to have a job that allows for hours and hours daily of fitness and dieting.
How are your nagging injuries?
Something comes up. I have warning lights that come on in my body when I'm going too hard, and
then what do you do? Do you take a break or
fucking chill out, dude?
Scale it back.
I really do. I'm very careful now, and unfortunately, that's kind of what's going to prevent me. I think the dream of being cartoonishly jacked at my wedding is dead.
Really?
Yeah. Also, Sierra kind of made the point, like, she was like, what are you doing? Like, why do you even want that? She goes, that would be the equivalent to me changing my body so much where I become, emaciated and rail thin. You see a lot of women for their weddings lose too much weight, I think. I've seen that many times. And because people become consumed by it.
The pictures.
Yeah, exactly. And I've said to Sarah many times, I'm like, you look amazing right now. Obviously, not that my opinion matters, but like, I think you get married like this, like, what could be better? And she's like, she's got a very healthy attitude, like wanting to, I guess, tone her arms up a little bit, but it's not like she has like weight to lose. And she said, yeah, you getting that cartoon, transforming your body that dramatically would be the equivalent of me losing like 30 pounds from here. And I was like, all right, touche. So
she talked you out of it.
Yeah, I don't know what my goal is now. I think maybe we've reached the height of my bulk. And now I'm going to start just slimming down again. We climbed as high as we could.
I can't tell with the shirt that you're wearing. But the last time I saw you were looking pretty fucking huge.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think that this will be the most jacked I will ever get.
Is this the most jacked you've ever been?
No. I think when I was 22, I was probably more.
You were huge.
Yeah. But this is the only time I've taken creatine. Dude, I don't weigh as much as I weighed myself, and I expected it to be at least 5 pounds more.
Did you weigh the same amount?
No, I weigh more, but not by that much. I weigh 211. My normal weight's like 206, 207. That's like a weight where it's just my resting weight. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to start going to the sort of cardio type classes and stuff like that, and really just, I don't know, it's all going to melt off.
And it would just be like 205 again.
Yeah.
How long will that take?
2 weeks. Mm-hmm. I feel like a failure, man.
Dude, but no, you've just made a very important point, though, that like as far as the like cartoonishly jacked thing, like literally why? It's not like you look better that way.
I don't know. I thought it'd be fun to have big bulging muscles.
Yeah, it's fun.
I thought it'd be fun to have boobs and cleavage as a man.
So you just think in order to get to that point, like you're probably like you could easily hurt yourself?
I don't think I can eat enough to do it. I'm not interested for some reason. I don't want to take protein because I don't want to hurt my kidneys. And I just can't eat enough food. I'm traveling too much. I don't have access to the type of food and refrigerator that I would need. I'm probably not working out enough. I don't know, dude. It's just too hard, man.
It's like a full-time job. Like I've heard stories about guys on like movie sets, like the guy who like plays the jacked guy, like bringing just like 2 giant bags of his own food to set every day.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah.
And weighing your food and shit.
Your food can never be more than 10 yards away from you.
It's crazy.
It's like a parole officer or something. I don't even know. It's disgusting. Your mind has to constantly be on the chore of eating, of consuming protein shakes, all this bullshit, food prep, waking up earlier so that you can fit more meals in.
Jesus.
I can't do that. I can barely sleep. So, all right.
So what about, okay, I want some more updates from you. So the landlord dispute, are there any updates there?
No.
Nothing.
No. And now I don't know what to do because I think the case has fallen through the cracks.
Is that even possible? Does that happen?
My guess is that I filled out the form and I told them to send the summons to the location where I would write my checks to, but it's possible that location is no longer where they have their office
They
at.
like haven't been able to serve them?
And they can't find them. And do I really want to go back into the court and try to figure out where they are? The problem is that now I'm regretting that when they did offer me a settlement of a quarter of the security deposit, I turned it down because now I would take that. It's been so long. That would have been $1,800 or something. Could use that money.
Yeah.
That would have covered some of the food that I would have needed to get as jacked as I wanted to
get
be.
to your jacked goals.
It's a lot of rice.
Yeah, dude.
You can buy a lot of rice with $1,800. You wouldn't believe how much rice
I'm
you can
sure
buy.
you could feed an
because
entire
let me tell you something.
province of China.
Have you ever boil a cup of rice?
It's amazing how small the rice is before it's cooked.
You boil a cup, you scoop 1 cup of rice, right? And you do 2 cups of liquid. You cook that shit. By the time you take that top off to fluff it up with your fork,
It's full.
it's as if the rice have had children.
I know. It's crazy.
Each rice had at least a child.
Dude, I love rice, by the way.
Rice is awesome.
It's really good.
I'm a big fan. What's your favorite type?
I don't like preparation wise. Like,
Sticky, basmati, white,
I
brown,
don't all of it, dude.
black.
I like it all, and I love.
You got to have a favorite.
I don't know. I don't know that I do.
I wonder if
Depends on
people
the day.
think this is interesting, talking about our favorite type of rice.
It might be. Dude, I mean, there's just so many good dishes that are rice dishes, dude. Like seafood paella,
Yeah.
fried rice, dude.
Crispy rice. You know what I like
Crispy
is
rice,
I love a
sushi rice.
sticky coconut rice.
That's fun.
That is
I like
fun.
that too. I like that
Yeah.
too.
Well, I think I don't know what you'd call that, but that's definitely like a white rice. For sure.
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy, but white rice, I mean, I don't eat it that often.
Green, short green.
Chris is making the point that there are different classifications of
Yeah.
rice.
You know what I
It's
do
true,
like
it's
is
true.
I think it's called like an arborio rice.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the one that you make. It's always it's the vegetarian option on so many menus.
Yeah. I remember having it.
Yeah, that. What does that make?
Having it in our cabinet.
What is it? What can you make that with? What does that turn into? Risotto. Risotto's good rice. That's good rice.
Really good.
All right, off the rice. Sorry.
Well, dude, I have a funny story. I'm not sure what reminded me of this, but so our pal Ricky, he gets his hair cut at his house. This guy comes over and cuts his hair for him.
Baller. I like that.
Which is just like, yeah, it's like a baller thing. I like associate that with something that a rapper would do.
Because they're too famous and they don't want to go out in public to get their hair cut. Yeah.
So there's something about it that is this sort of, it's like a step in one's life that I was unaware of that existed.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually made that point when I was sitting there watching the guy cut his hair. I made the point like I made some comment about like rappers, and I think he like didn't know what I was talking about, and there was a chance that like if I didn't clarify, like he could be offended by that. So he was just like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Don't worry about it. This is just like something that I would think a rapper would be doing, getting his hair cut in his house. I don't know." And all this like buzzing, and also terminology that I've never heard of, like tight. Like all this like shit that I'm like, dude, I don't
fade.
Whatever it's going on, I don't know.
Because you don't get fades.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
You don't get a fade.
Do you?
Yeah.
So you know about all this stuff.
Not well, but I would know what a fade is. Chris knows what a fade is. Brian knows what a fade is.
Do you? So when you go, you have a guy you go to though.
Yeah.
And you go every couple weeks.
I go often. Yeah, probably every 6 weeks I get a proper haircut.
Okay.
But a lot of the time I'll go every 3
maintenance.
weeks to do a little sides and back shape up.
So Ricky gets his haircut a lot, and he always has, and he kind of like has this. He'll always have like kind of like a manly barber kind of thing. Like, I don't know. It's always been something that fascinated me because I never like have done any of the steps that he does with getting his haircut. I've never done any of them. So anyway, he's getting his haircut, and the guy, this is really funny. So like we had a couple of drinks, and he's like, "Oh my God, my haircut guy's coming over. Do you guys want to come over?" So we go over there, and in the middle of cutting his hair, the barber realized he had forgotten like a crucial piece. Ricky had to leave in the morning. He had like half a haircut now. So it's like he had like a shelf, like his hair, the next step of cutting the hair couldn't happen.
Yeah.
So he almost looked like a guy who dances professionally at parties. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, this guy could only be, this is the only job this guy could do with this current haircut. So it's me, him, and this guy Zach, who I work with. He works in a little bit too. So we all think it's hilarious now at this point. And the guy's like, "I got to go back to Queens real quick to get this piece, but I'll be back." And you know, the guy lives pretty far away in Queens. So I'm like, "Dude, we should go," because he has like a barber situation like in his backyard in the basement. So now we just are on this like road trip to Queens to get his haircut.
He was cool with you guys coming to his house?
Yeah, I mean, he was just so like shook about the mistake that he had made.
Yeah.
That he was like happy that, and we rode in separate cars, which I think was an important distinction of like what's acceptable and not, draw a boundary. But I have a picture here that I think you're gonna really enjoy. So this guy had like his little barber station like in his backyard, and there was like a sign, and then like he had a bunch of like weed and shit. Like if this guy was like 18, he's like the coolest. This is like the coolest man cave you've ever seen in your life. It's like weed, video games. And dude, it was like surreal. It was surreal being down here, getting the haircut with this guy. Look at this. Look at this whole setup, dude.
Oh,
does this not look like
truly has
some music video?
An actual barber setup in his home.
In like the basement in the backyard.
And this is Versace, right?
There's no way it actually is. I think it's like
Versace gets knocked off more than anything.
It seems like a knockoff. But anyway, this guy had a pretty fun little setup back here, dude, and it felt very.
That's cool.
It was a very funny field trip, dude.
That's interesting.
That is something that's a classic example of something you would never do without having had drinks involved.
You know that there's this weed company in New York that was like a designer weed.
This is before the haircut had been finished.
Oh yeah, I kind of dig it.
Right? It does look kind of sick.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
There's a designer weed that it's called like Chris. You've probably heard of this. These two guys. They started making these like it's something grocery or like Buddy's grocery or something. Have you heard of this? or Buddy's Bodega. Buddy's Bodega is what it was called. And it's two guys that would sell weed in New York, but they would get these really rare strains from California or wherever else, or make it themselves, and then package it in this like limited edition, sparkly, almost reminiscent of like Pokemon cards. And the weed would sell and trade in the same way that limited edition sneakers would.
Interesting.
And the New York Times did a huge article about these guys.
This is recent?
They're still going.
Okay.
But now that weed has become legal in New York, they're trying to figure out how they are going to incorporate into the legal weed business, and whether or not it's even worth it for them to pay for the like license or to continue going underground. But they are, they're out in the open about it.
Right.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's cool. I'm interested. I almost wanted to buy some of their merch.
It's probably cool.
This is a similar problem I had, Chris. I have this desire to look like you guys, to look cool, and to have you come in one day and tell me, whoa, cool sweatshirt. Buddy's Bodega? I didn't think you even knew about that. Francis, I didn't know you knew about that. And I'm always asking Chris, especially when we're not podcasting but we're out having drinks or whatever, I'm always asking him, like, what's cool? What should I be wearing? And he told this other kid I know told me about a cool brand. I can't remember the name of it. But one day I'm going to show up wearing something and you're going to be like, what the fuck?
Have you ever seen the movie Train to Busan?
No.
It's like a Korean zombie movie. It's really fucking good. But it just reminded me of the opening scene of the movie. This guy's like this businessman. He's super busy. And he asks his assistant, what do the kids think is cool these days?
Yeah.
And he gets the kid a Wii for her birthday. And when she opens it, she kind of looks over. And there is a Wii set up as well as another Wii because he had already bought her a second one. And now this is the third one. Just like prove that he's not a good dad. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking sad.
Oh, he'd already bought her and didn't remember it.
But the story arc is kind of he ends up saving her from zombies and then he redeems himself.
Well,
it's a really good zombie movie if you guys.
Guess I'm not seeing that movie.
Yeah, I don't think you like, dude. Oh my God, I was watching it on Sunday. Hillary comes back from yoga, and I don't say anything. I'm just watching it. She sits down on the couch, and it's like a scene where you just
yeah.
And she goes, "Are you serious?" She's like, "Are you serious?" She goes, "This is the worst possible thing that could be on the TV right now." Sunday afternoon.
I can think of a few things that would be worse. Yeah, like hardcore gay pornography.
Right. Yes.
If she came home and you weren't even touching yourself, you were just watching it.
I was just casually saying, "Oh yeah."
It's like, what? What are you doing?
Oh my God,
oh no, it was just what was on, and I was too tired to change the channel. What channel is this on?
I had to buy it.
Yeah.
Channel 684. Dude, speaking of weed, did I ever tell you guys this story when we were in Boston about the guy who was smoking the joint in the lobby? Did I tell you about this?
We were together.
You saw him doing that? I don't know that we checked in. We must have. I don't know. Something happened where I don't think you were with me, but you might have been. There's a guy smoking a joint in the lobby. So the hotel that we stayed at, you walk in and the lobby is actually on the second floor. So the first area before you get to the elevator, there's like seats that you can sit in. There's not a lot of people down there, but it's like you're waiting for your Uber or like those kind of people. There's a man sitting in there smoking a joint, which is like, okay, good for you, dude. There's no shot you're going to last very long doing that. Like, you're going to get kicked out. You know what I mean? So I'm like, enjoy it is my thought. I go up to the room. I put my stuff away, whatever. I come back downstairs a half an hour later. Same guy's still in there, and he's now filling out a job application to work at the hotel. I swear to God. I looked to make sure because of how insane that seemed. And I was like, who is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? How on earth?
I bet you they hired him.
Right? Like, what is he thinking?
I like that guy. That guy's a good guy.
What is that guy thinking?
You know, he probably wanted to get in the right mindset for the interview.
Dude, it's crazy. What a crazy decision-making process.
Here's a pickle. I've got you know, I know these episodes coming out next week, but I've got Boston this weekend.
Sweet.
And the Celtics are playing on 2 of the 3 nights of my shows. During the shows.
Oh, God. Damn.
It's like pretty shitty.
But did you sell
I'm
the
saying,
tickets already? It's also game 1 and game 2. That's
no,
good.
it's game 3 and 4.
Oh, God. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry, dude.
I'm pretty sure it's game 3 and 4. Maybe it's no. You know what? I think it's gonna be game 2 and 3.
It's a little better.
Yeah, game 2 and 3. Even so,
It'll be all right. That sucks.
yeah. Oh well.
What are you gonna do,
Nothing to be done.
dude? When we were in Denver, obviously that's like the sort of place where legal weed began here. We're at the airport, and before we go inside, I was not smoking, but some people in the group were smoking before we walked into the airport, right outside of the airport. And then we sort of like went our separate ways. Some people had pre-checked, some people didn't, whatever. And I'm on the escalator, and this guy turns around. He goes, "Pardon me." He said, "Pardon me." He goes, "By any chance, was that y'all outside smoking loud?"
Wow.
And I was like, I did not expect the hardest slang term at the end of that sentence.
No,
When that guy started off being so proper. Pardon me. By any chance, was that y'all smoking that loud?
And where did it go from there?
We were like, yeah, I guess like it was us. And he was like, nice.
Oh, so he wasn't gonna admonish you?
No.
Yeah.
It was just a very odd conversation starter.
Cool. That's cool.
And I don't know why he felt the need to say pardon me.
But that's something I would do.
You would do that.
I would do that to kids.
But would you say that loud?
I would try to use a word that I'd seen on TikTok to make them think that I was more with it than I actually am.
I would like to see you casually asking people if they were smoking loud.
And I would be doing it wearing like a Kid Super t-shirt and, talking about my Mac Miller obsession.
And they're like, he passed away, right? And you're like, I totally knew that. Totally knew that.
I know he passed
R.I.P.
away. He died in Dumbo, which is where I live.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pretty sure this is where he died. He didn't die in Dumbo? No? You sure about that?
You knew that, dude. You knew that. That's right.
What if I'm right? Where did he die? He died in L.A.?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Little town called Dumbo, L.A.
The Hollywood Hills? Where? Studio City. Dude, we went into the
Studio
weed
City
store.
is where he died, by the way.
I had a good zinger in the weed store, dude. We walk in there. Chris remembers this. I walk into the weed store and I say to the lady, I'm like, how many times a day does someone come in here and go, oh, it smells good in here? I was pretty proud of that. Dude, the other night I was having like a very deep conversation about something with like Danny Palmer. We had finished a night of doing spots, whatever, and we're talking about life or something. And some guy walks by, he's like, I borrow a lighter. And we're like, sure, we give this guy a lighter. I like, let this guy borrow my lighter. And he starts sitting there trying to light whatever he's smoking. And like, we're in the middle of the conversation. And the guy then gets involved in the conversation. He goes, yeah, man, that's why you got to appreciate what you got. And we're like, hey, random guy, down and out guy. Thanks you're right. Yeah. I'm like, now
I can't stand that.
Now we're having this like deep conversation about life.
I hate
with this
when
guy
people who are
eavesdropping.
not part of my conversation get involved. Strangers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was so surprising that it was like kind of funny, but like, I hear you. You know, it's
I don't like that at all. It's been happening a lot lately too.
People just inserting themselves into your convo.
Yeah. And then carrying on as though there was an invitation. And there's no way to get out of it if you're a polite person.
Right, yeah, totally. Which is such a like manipulative tactic.
Yeah.
That now like I have to be like I don't know. You just be like, dude, fuck off. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You feel like a dick.
Yeah. By the way, we're barreling down towards our wedding.
Oh, you sure are. You're staring down. It's coming up, dude. It's like really making its way here. It seems so far away. I'm ready to rip. I got all my stuff reserved.
Let me run something by you.
Okay.
there was an idea for something that the group was going to do on the night before the wedding, like the Friday or whatever, an activity. And Sierra had the idea that everyone should wear white for it. And I said, I don't think that's a good idea.
Why don't you think it's a good idea? And why does she want to?
Because, well, I'll just tell you what it is. There's an idea that we're going to like get a boat and go around the Portland Harbor.
Oh, fun.
You know, just kind of like the wedding parties. So you guys would be in it. And she thought it'd be fun to like have everyone dressed in like in white. That would be the dress code for that. But I thought that to me that felt Temptation Island-y. Like Love Island-y.
Yeah, but it's not a cast of people looking for love. It's like
no, I know, but it's like
you know,
to have everyone wearing a very it's like a midsummer.
it's like before Labor Day. It's fun. It's
yeah,
like,
but even she was like, I think it's kind of like the Kennedys or whatever, and I was like, I don't think the Kennedys wore all white. They would wear like linen striped shirts and khakis and corduroys.
like seersucker.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a little less on the nose than an all white, pure, lacy, linen-y. Everyone wear. To me, everyone on a boat wearing white. The people who wear white on a boat are the people who work on the boat, too.
Interesting.
Like the crew wears
They
white.
have that little white and blue.
You look at a
outfit.
yacht. Yeah, everyone on that yacht is wearing
little sneaks.
white.
Little white sneaks, dude. So when it's funny, the all white thing. My first thought was just like my sort of like darkest period of my life, in my opinion, as far as like who I was, where I was wearing all white, going to like some white party at some like club, and every picture I'm in, I'm not smiling in and holding a lit cigarette.
When was this? When was this?
2006.
Oh.
Star Room, the Hamptons, dude. Wow. Wearing all white, making feel like.
Why was this the darkest period of your life?
Because I was just a tool, dude. I'm like looking back at pictures and stuff. I'm like, dude.
But did you know that you were a tool?
No, I
then?
thought I was so sick, dude.
So then so it wasn't dark mentally for you.
No. I thought I was the fucking man, dude.
Uh-huh.
I was killing it, going to the club, dude.
Yeah.
God. But yeah, wearing all
Sweet.
white, like Euro bagging it up.
What's that mean?
It's like looking like a guy who fucking hangs out at San Ambrose. You know that place? It's like these people who like wish that they were at the French Riviera at all times.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I told Hillary that I'm intending. So we're going to Monte Carlo this summer.
What?
Yeah, which I'm looking forward to.
What for?
We have a wedding kind of nearby, so we're like,
Where?
Like in like northwestern Italy. So hop, skip, and a jump, effectively. So I told her, I was like, I'm wearing an extremely Monte Carlo-esque outfit the entire time.
Good. You have to.
And she goes,
Yes.
"Can you please not prank me for the entirety of our vacation?"
No. No,
And I'm
you
like,
need
no.
to. Life is all about buying outfits for trips.
Tight pants and
Yep.
a cotton polo tucked into those pants.
Yes.
And sunglasses and perhaps a little hat.
Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yes.
Perhaps a little hat.
Like a straw fedora type
Something
thing?
like that.
Yeah, very good, dude.
Thank
Very
you.
good. I like the sound of that.
I'm looking forward to
It's not up to them.
Nope.
These trips are for us.
Don't stop my shine.
We get to celebrate ourselves and our individuality when we're on trips. I get when we're around other people, you need me to be presentable. I'll do my part. But when it's our trip and I'm on my vacation, I am wearing whatever I'm swinging.
I'm going to look like a guy who raises his hand to get the waiter's attention as if you were in fourth grade science class. That's what I want to look like that whole time, dude. Pardon?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Who just says like you're only going to use your French for the start of each sentence.
Yeah.
Monsieur, yes, I would like a café au lait, like just in and out.
Yeah, all the vocab words.
Yeah.
Cook, monsieur.
Yeah.
The Alec Baldwin.
Garçon. Very good.
How do we get onto that? Oh, we were talking about the all white. I mean, dude, yeah, I don't know. Theme Friday sounds like a good time.
I'm not a fan.
So you're nixing the theme.
I put my
Theme
foot
nixed.
down.
Cool.
But
So
that
what's
doesn't
the
mean
plan?
that
What's
doesn't
the
mean that it's
outstanding
going to
plan?
be that it's going to go through. I think the plan is that the wedding parties are going to go out for a little cocktail cruise on the afternoon, and then go back to the hotel. Everyone get gussied up for the rehearsal dinner. We go over
Sweet.
there, and then the the whole wedding, welcome drinks thing is at the same place that the rehearsal dinner's at. So it'll
Sweet.
become that.
Fun.
Yeah. And then we go out if we want, we can go out in Portland that night and get super bombed.
Great.
Should I get super bombed the night before my wedding?
Probably not.
Should I look really puffy and with bloodshot eyes and delirious
Well, that
on
actually,
my wedding day?
So does that actually happen for real?
Oh boy, dude, I can get that way.
I always wonder about that when people are like, "Do I look hungover?" And I'm like, "You just look like you." Like,
No,
what are you talking about?
I mean, you could notice. You could notice. You'd be like, man, your skin looks blotchy.
Really?
Yeah, if I really
you should be careful.
turned it on.
You don't want to do that then.
No, but I think it'd be fun. It'd be fun if
This
if,
could
if
be,
I like
yeah.
barely made it to my wedding.
Not the puffy effect you were going for
If
originally.
I'm like swaying up there, trying not to throw up, that'll make things way more interesting.
Dude, there's no way you're being serious.
I don't know, man. I like to spice things up a little. I want to throw a little bit of a curveball into my own wedding.
You're like, and baby, I vow to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Throw up in her mouth as we go for our kiss, like a bird.
Oh my god.
Goddamn
dude.
bird mom. I think that would be fun. Yeah, I mean, listen, dude. All these people gathered in one place where I grew up, going out to the local bars in Portland where I got beat up that time. God.
Why can't we just do that Saturday night?
Well, we could, but then I have to be careful because on Sunday I have to fly to Africa.
What time is that? Is that
I'm
an
more
evening
nervous
flight?
about not being hungover for my flight to Africa than I am about my actual wedding.
Evening flight?
Yeah.
A connection?
Well, we fly 11 o'clock. We leave Boston straight to Paris.
Okay.
There's a 1 hour layover in Paris, which is making me very nervous.
Yeah, it's not great.
And then from Paris to Kenya.
Cool. That's going to be sick.
They're sort of equal length flights, 2 8.5 hour flights or whatever.
I know I keep doing this every single time you talk about your honeymoon, but there's really a lot of good parallel content for your guys' trip that I don't know if it's too good that you just feel like it would be a spoiler, but if you want to get gassed up for it, that new nature show on Netflix has a really good Kenya.
The one
episode.
by Obama?
Yeah.
I watched it.
Did you like it?
I did. I liked it. The national park in Kenya, and then they do the gorilla scene.
They do the gorilla scene.
Yeah.
I wanted to see more of that when I was watching it.
I needed more. I needed more gorillas. We'll get some gorilla content for you.
Very exciting, dude.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, speaking of which, my parents are in Italy right now. It's sort of a combination of visiting all the family and doing some fun stuff. They got inspired to do a little cooking class, do some cooking classes.
Do your parents like to cook? I can see your dad being a good cook.
So my mom's a very good cook. My dad has become one. He can like make a few things well, but he's not like a good cook per se. My mom is the cook. But they're doing cooking classes and having fun.
That's great.
Which is a fun thing to do when you're good at cooking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some people will be like, oh, why do I need to do that? I know how to cook. You know what I mean? They have a good attitude about it. But I get a DM from this like influencer. I think I showed you this.
Yeah, you did. This is amazing.
It's pretty funny. I get this message on Instagram being like, well, I got one from my parents then after too, which is pretty funny, but I'll read the one from the girl first. If I can find it. Sorry. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Hey, I did a cooking class with your parents in Italy today. I told them how I was a podcaster and comedian in New York, and they told me you were also a podcaster comedian, so I wanted to introduce myself. And I get a thing from my parents that was pretty funny too, saying, ran into 2 girls from NY. They go to the stand and know Hess and Hannah Berner. I'm like, Dad, Hess? You're calling Ashley Hess?
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Love that.
They were in our cooking class. They sent you a pic. Christina has a podcast. A la Girls Gotta Eat. Okay, we'll see about that.
What's the girl's name again?
Her name is the Beauty Chickie.
I mean, she's got a ton of followers.
She has a lot of followers.
Big time. Big deal.
Beauty Chickie. Dude, and then I was like, oh, ha, that's so funny. And then she's like, yeah, your parents were like telling me their whole life story. I was like, all right, take it easy, toots. Take it easy over there, all right? Calm down. Yeah, my brother was in freaking Costa Rica, my entire family out of the country, which I've never like, it's good for them, dude. Giving me a little bit of a urge.
Here's something.
Get moving. What's up?
I knew a girl in college who I think her brother passed away while she was in college. It was really tragic. And from that day forward, I think she had one other sibling. And from that day forward, her parents would not fly together. Even if they were both going somewhere at the same time, they would take different
I've heard
flights
of this.
because they didn't
that's extreme.
want to maroon the
Right.
kid and both perish together. Do you think that's smart?
No,
It's really over the top.
it's over the top. I understand the fear of flying. I do, because if something goes wrong, on a 747, you're fucking done. There's no like middle. It just doesn't happen that much.
Right.
It doesn't happen enough for you to be legitimately scared of it.
Well-
and I know that fear is irrational.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
Well, on one hand, yes, you've stopped the possibility. Well, you haven't entirely, but you've lowered the chance that both parents will die in a plane crash. But you have increased the chance that one of them will
right.
die in a plane crash. Because it's like,
Right.
okay, one plane's going to go down today. If we should spread out to try to hit that one more.
Right. No, dude. I like.
Super fucked.
No, it's true though. I mean, did the brother die in a plane crash?
No.
Okay. Which that's the only way that would like feel more like
Yeah,
reasonable.
but then
even though it's-
statistically speaking,
what are the
it's
odds?
like, well, that was the one that we've dodged that bullet. He took it for us.
Yes, if we're statistically speaking, ends the conversation. You know what I mean? With how, and it's true. Like, what are the odds that two of us survive separate or end up in separate?
Extremely small.
Extremely small.
Yeah.
But you hear stories about people like I have a friend who's wants to get married in Italy, but his fiance's parents have never been on a plane. And when they come to New York, they drive here from like the Midwest. So they can't get married in Sicily because the parents just like won't go on a plane.
Wow.
And the whole argument about like you're way more likely to die in a car crash, like it just like doesn't resonate with everybody.
No, I know that.
And it's just it just is what it is. You know what I mean? There's nothing.
Yeah. Ryan, what is the likelihood of dying in a plane crash? Look at this. He's already got it up. He knew we were going to ask him that.
So there's a 1 in an 11 million chance that your plane is going to crash.
But that statistic is misleading because smaller planes crash more than bigger ones.
Yeah, so I'm talking commercial.
Okay.
And then
One
when it
in
comes to
11 million?
yes.
That's bananas.
It's bananas.
That's nothing.
And then to compare it for a motor vehicle death, it's 1 in 5,000.
Wow.
Which is
That's
significantly
so
more
much
likely.
better.
That's not. It's like comparing them is insane.
I don't like flying, and that makes me feel a little bit better.
11 million is that's so why did I say that? That's like my most extreme.
It worked.
Yeah, maybe you
even-
should beep that out. Beep it for the kids at home. Man, that feels like lottery numbers, you know.
I told you about the KLM pilot guy thing, right? Because this ties in so perfectly with this, I'll tell it in case I've already
But
told
really quick, if it's 1 in 11 million, then the idea that your brother would have, I feel like, I don't know. No,
didn't
because then
think
the odds reset.
I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it once.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, oh my god, if ever my entire family dies in plane crashes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
No. So I was very quickly. We talked to this commercial pilot, and we were in Barcelona, who flies for KLM, and he was sort of telling us how he's not scared. He's like, you guys literally have nothing to be scared of. He's like, I've been flying commercially for 20 years. I've maybe been scared for 5 minutes total in that entire time. And we're like, whoa, really? And like, what happened during that 5 minutes? And he then just fell asleep in the middle of his of the conversation.
What?
Which is like going from a moment of having complete and utter confidence to now being like, great, my pilot has narcolepsy. This is exactly what I need to,
You know something I've noticed? Let me ask you this. Well, I have two thoughts. The first is there was this is good that we're talking about this because there was a news story that popped up where a guy was in a little plane and the pilot had a stroke or something.
Jesus.
Became incoherent. And so this passenger had to land the plane with no flying experience.
It's like Indiana Jones, dude.
And he did it. He was talking to the control tower. They were walking him through how to gradually bring decrease your altitude. And he did it. He landed it fine.
Oh my God.
And it made me wonder, does that piss off pilots?
That story?
That they kept emphasizing this guy had no flying experience. And then the pilots were like, well, it's astonishing that somebody that with no flying experience could do this. And it made me think, well, yeah, clearly you don't need any experience to fly an airplane. You could be a dumb idiot. You don't need any skill whatsoever. You just need to be along for the ride. You need to be in the right place at the right time.
But dude, what about
to
all those
fly
switches?
An airplane. Yeah, I think that's all smoke and mirrors. I think that's all a way for them to justify trumping up the cost of tickets.
Dude.
And the fact that they're lowering our baggage allotments and not bringing out peanuts anymore. All that fancy mumbo jumbo jargon. Air traffic control tower to clear for runway on takeoff.
You look like a pilot, dude.
I could just be like, hey guys,
Right?
I don't know how to
Francis
fly
look
a
like a
plane,
pilot?
but I'm seeing an open road in front of me. Can I go? And they'd be like, sure. And then I would take off.
Dude.
No experience.
You gotta be careful, bro. This is bad karma. You're putting out there, dude. You should be a pilot for Halloween.
Are you? Do you think
look
that,
great as a pilot.
You think that if I'm on an airplane where the pilot has a stroke, that I'm going to be the one loser who cannot land the plane with no experience?
I tell you what, I ain't betting on you, dude. I ain't betting on you.
The Lord, that the God of flying is going to smite me down.
I ain't betting on you.
That I'm going to hit some switch that's going to cause a wing to fall off and be like, fuck, I didn't think those did anything.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, well, look, I'm kind of saying this as a joke because occasionally one of Sierra's stepdad will listen to the pod and he's a phenomenal pilot, and I'm trying to get under his bonnet a little bit because what he
I hope
does
he
is
didn't
amazing.
turn it off yet.
No, his stories are incredible and he's super skilled, and it's like there's nothing more fun to listen to at a dinner than like a pilot telling pilot stories.
What are some of them? Are there
Dude,
any like
just
crazy
like
ones?
Nights.
There we were.
Yeah.
30,000 feet.
Yeah. And scary moments. Because he wasn't flying commercial airlines like his whole career. He was flying for like the mail service in Canada and in these like cargo planes that have no real instruments. There's terrible visibility. A lot of
Crazy.
Dude, also I'm reading the summer of like 1927 or something, like One Great Summer or something, like Bill Bryson. It's just about this one summer I think it's the year 1927, where so many things happened in America and around the world, but especially in America.
Stock market crash.
Charles Lindbergh completed the first transatlantic flight. And what he did, first of all, there was this race going on where it was like a lot of pilots were jockeying to be the first, and they were just going off and dying.
Oh my God.
I mean, they were like not making it, and
Alex
they were
Honnold
never
of 1927, dude.
Yeah, never being heard from again. Just going in the water in the middle of the Atlantic, and it's like, yep, we didn't hear from him. He's gone.
Oh my God.
And Lindbergh made it, and he was the first. And
how many people died?
I don't know, but a bunch. Pilots were dying all the time back then. And he did it with like he had no sights, he flew it took him 36 hours to make the flight from New York to Paris.
Was he like manually refueling the plane?
No, he had, that was the trickiest part, was that like taking off in a plane like that, he had to carry so much fuel that they weren't sure that the plane could even take off. But it's a single prop plane. It's a propeller in the front. It's going like 100, maybe 100 miles an hour.
Dude, it's crazy.
I don't know. It's nuts. And he's doing his calculations on his headings and his fuel and his speed and all that on a piece of paper between his knees as he's holding on to the friggin'.
That's crazy.
And he's awake for 60 straight hours.
Dude.
And he never missed a checkpoint, whereas other planes there were like planes that followed him where they had 2 or 3 people in the plane, including like a navigator, a pilot, and all this, and they would like fuck up their bearings and end up 200 miles south of their intended targets.
Shit.
And he made it spot
Exactly.
on, like didn't miss a spot.
And lucky Lindbergh.
Dude, he
Remember that
became
song?
the most famous person on Earth the second the wheels touched it down.
And dude, karmic reversion to the mean though. Didn't his kid get kidnapped or something?
That's correct.
And then
they
were
kidnapped
dead?
the Lindbergh baby. Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I don't know what happens there.
I don't remember.
But okay, so to go back a few steps, landing a plane, flying a
So
plane.
do real quick, plane situation. Hillary said that she was on a red eye. And speaking of plane speed, the pilot, it comes on in the middle of the flight, like late at night, and he said this. He goes, I know everyone's sleeping, but we're currently going 700 miles per hour because of the tailwind. Anyway, that's all. He like thought it was sick.
That's
Like-
not enough. That's a rare number. That's a rare
I
velocity.
guess it's like a really high number. If that's what it sounds like to me, but he just like started nerding out. It's
That's
like, hey
pretty
guys,
cool.
I gotta tell you
I
something.
dig that.
Yeah,
I
I'm down
would
for
dig that.
too,
I
yeah.
would want to know that. Oh, this is what I wanted to ask you about.
Mm-hmm.
So I have realized that pilots love. I think this is my theory. They like the thank you line.
When you leave,
Yep.
thank you.
That is not them being an ambassador for the airline and thanking the passengers. Thanks for flying Delta today. You know, that's them. That's them coming off stage at a comedy club like we do, and wanting to get the affirmation of our show.
Interesting. So if you stay in the cockpit, you're one of the people who does not want it. Is that even an option? Do you have to say bye to people?
I don't think you need to get up and say bye. That you've got the flight attendants are saying goodbye. Thanks for flying. Thanks for flying. Have a great day. Goodbye. Baggage on carousel 13, whatever. But the pilot will come out. You know, he puts his cool hat on. Thank you. Yes. But no, you're thanking him. I always thank them. And by the way, they deserve it. I'm thanking thanking the shit out of those pilots.
Dude, so they were saying that you get like a post 9/11, you get like a kind of terrorism training, and they say that like if a terrorist was holding a knife to a flight attendant's neck and said, "I'm going to slit her throat," you're supposed to let them slit her throat.
Yeah.
They teach you that.
Wow.
Isn't that fucked up? He's like,
Do it. See if I care.
dude, it's crazy.
Think I haven't trained for this moment?
Dude, fucking A, man. That's
crazy.
crazy shit.
That's
That
crazy.
is crazy shit. Okay, I got some. Yeah,
Yeah, the show The Flight Attendant.
Kaylee Cuoco. Chris has
So you
discovered
know
the
who's on
flight
that
attendant.
show in the first season, the first episode of season 1 is
I just watched the first episode.
yeah, the
last
guy
night.
from Summer House.
Carl.
No. Luke.
Luke, yes. Sorry. He like hooked up with her.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
her like one night stand or whatever.
Yeah.
He's a dead guy. What was it? That's
No.
No. Luke is like, it's like literally the first moment. of the
Oh
show.
Yeah,
wow!
the
Holy
guy with
shit.
tattoos who's really
Yeah,
handsome.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched the first episode last night. It seems pretty interesting.
It's a fun show.
We tried.
It's
No?
fun.
I got a couple episodes in, kind of. It was a little too goofy
Interesting.
Yeah.
for a murder show.
It's not like, it doesn't like feel real,
Yeah, it
but
was a
that
little-
didn't take me out of
It
it.
was a little kind of farcical. It felt like a murder farce,
Interesting.
which I'm not in the mood for.
Yeah, the first episode was good, so I'm curious.
Yeah.
sort of like that like Steve Martin show.
Yes.
I couldn't get into that.
Only murders in the building. Same exact thing.
Wow. I
Yeah.
watched an episode. I was like, this is too
Couldn't do it.
silly.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know if I ever told you guys this story. This is a pretty funny miscalculation story that I think you'll enjoy. When I was living in LA for a while, I worked at this show where I've told you guys famously I would ride my bike to it. I was like a PA. And a couple other people on the show, like there's this one girl, and she was like really nice, whatever. And before I was about to leave, she's like, hey, do you want to go on a date with me?
Nice.
And I was like, wow, a date with me?
That's cool.
I was like, wow, sure. Well, that's so cool. And I honestly like wasn't that interested. So I started kind of texting some other guys who worked there. I'm like, hey, I'm almost like bragging a little bit. I'm like, check this out. Like she asked me on a date. And they're like, oh, like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I maybe am not really feeling it, but like maybe I'll just like go because I feel bad. And they're like, oh, okay, like whatever. I arrived to the date and it's my surprise going away party. There was no date. There was never a date.
Oh my God.
And the people at the surprise going away party are the guys who I was texting me like, dude, can you believe this?
But
So I just look like a fool.
But no, because what a better situation that they all planned a surprise party for you.
I know, but I've now agreed to go on a date. So now I think I'm going on a date.
But
and she's like, oh, I'm actually not interested in you like that at all.
Yeah, but
There's something about it.
You had the paper trail to be like, I wasn't excited about it anyway.
Right, but I can't actually prove that. She doesn't know that I didn't want to.
Well, you wouldn't want her to know because that would hurt her feelings.
So now I'm in
but
this
all
like
the
weird...
people, everyone else knew. You were texting around being like, I don't give a shit. I don't know.
I don't know, man. She's not really my type, but...
Yeah. Boy, there were a lot of moments for that whole thing to backfire.
I know. It was a dangerous...
Yeah, wow. That's a really weird way to concoct a ruse to get you in for the surprise party.
I know. We were going on a hike as a date, which I've never gone... I don't believe I've ever gone on a daytime first date. Have you?
For sure. I
don't think I have.
You know, it occurred to me, I don't know, out of nowhere. I mean, obviously, I haven't been on a date on a first date in whatever 3.5 years, but that concept feels so weird to me now. How do you ask someone out on a date? You know what I mean? It doesn't seem real.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, would you like to spend time where there's a lot on the line?
Right.
You know, like where you know that this is more than just two people hanging out.
There's
Like
so much to gain, though,
if
but the stakes are high.
Yeah, if things go according to the way that things often go, we're going to have sex with each other.
Yeah.
And if we don't, by the third time of us hanging out, this is a failure. This is all a waste of time. Like, what a ridiculous, expectation and sort of calculus that has become sort of the norm.
Mm-hmm. Dude, yeah, it's a crazy thing. The thing that, okay, so...
Isn't that right? It's like 3 dates?
I don't necessarily know.
Or less?
So, yeah, or less, but it depends. It's kind of like a give or take. It's like, how long am I willing to wait?
Mm-hmm.
They sort of gauge that well too, whatever. But, dude, in my opinion, the best first date scenario is like a person that you are sort of vibing with, and then you go for and ask them on a date. Like, that's fun, as opposed to just unfortunately, online dating is very efficient, but it takes away the element of ooh, I know I vibed with this person, I think, or I met them, I saw them in the wild, now I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's something fun about that. I don't know.
Yes, agreed. Chris, what do you got?
So I have a story that pertains to this. It's just, it's kind of, I don't know, whatever. I was on this date with this girl at this wine bar in the East Village, and it's a very tightly packed in wine bar.
Was it Aria Wine Bar?
No.
Aria Wine Bar is very tight.
No, it wasn't, but
Sorry.
I'm sure it's just it's the same.
Right.
So
Yeah.
whatever. We're having this date. It was going good. And then so there's two people sitting right to the right of us, and it's in the window, and then we're sitting right there. And then so they finally get down and they go to leave, and and she's like, "Oh, hey, are you Chris from Oops the Podcast?"
Come on.
And I was
Are you for real?
"Oh, yeah, I am. Thanks for..."
Fuck yeah.
But then I was like, "Oh, so you just listened to our whole date too, huh?"
Yeah.
That person's probably listening to this, so thanks for the confidence boost. But
Yeah.
Also kind of weird, but thanks. I don't know.
That's amazing. Now, did the girl that you were with did that do anything for her?
Is kind of, I guess. I don't know.
Did it move the needle?
Yeah,
Was she like,
so.
whoa, I wasn't planning to, smooch, but now that you're getting noticed,
no.
Smooch-a-rooney.
No.
Was this, how long ago was this?
In February.
Gotcha.
I think I told you guys. I don't remember.
Yeah, I
Okay.
vaguely remember, but dude, yeah, it's
That's
solid.
awesome.
Throwing you a bone.
It was also oh, you were listening to that whole thing, huh?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares, bro?
I wonder how I did. How did I do? If you're listening to this, send an email. Thanks.
Yeah, let Chris know how he did that
She's like,
time.
I was just listening to you on the way here. I was like, that's kind of weird, but thank you. I appreciate it.
I love it.
Dude, embrace it, bro.
Yeah.
The thing that would give me anxiety about first dates would be I want to pick a place that's good, but I want to know that like I can get a good table and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't want it to be too expensive either. Like, especially when I was like going on dates a bunch, I had like no money, dude. So I had to like figure out the perfect balance of all those things. And what I would end up doing is just going to the same places over and over again a lot of the time.
That's fine.
Because I was sure that it would be fine.
I think that's totally fine, man.
Imagine going on a date and not getting in. The guy won't let you in. You can't get in.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine?
You're toast.
You're fucking done.
It's game over.
That's advice I have to anybody going on first dates. You should have a backup plan just in case.
Yeah.
Or if the date kind of goes longer than you expected, or if you're going to go for more, like you should have every possibility of the night planned out.
Yeah.
You need to show that you're in control if you were the one planning.
You know, you talking about this is making me remember how fun it can be to go on dates. And Sierra and I are going to go out to dinner in like a week or two. And we don't really go out all that often intentionally. Date night, you know, a lot of the times we'll be out in the city on a Friday, and we'll just be like, we're hungry, let's go grab food. But like outfits picked out, thinking about what we're gonna wear, maybe a little spritz of cologne.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
Ooh,
by the way,
baby.
I thought we were going to do a little hanky panky the other day, and so as a treat for her, I spritzed a little cologne on my neck, and then we didn't hanky panky, and I had to go work out. And working out with cologne on your neck, I mean, I was almost fainting in the bench rack. Like, that sucks, man. You're sweating through your cologne.
That's crazy.
I was almost fainting. It made me nauseous.
So that's wild. I like. We know that I like people who smell strongly of fragrance.
Yeah.
But when I like walk by a person in the gym who's like who's did it for the gym too, I'm like, damn, good for you.
I don't know, man. I don't want to smell I don't want to smell cologne at the gym. That's a fucking headache. It makes me lightheaded, and I don't like it.
It's much better than the person who smells terrible at the gym.
Yeah.
Who you know they're like, I'm going to the gym anyway. I'm not going to shower before this. Please shower before and after. Please put us out of our misery. You smell terrible.
Would you shower before you got into the pool? Because it said shower before you get in the pool. Would you do that?
If there's like a shower there that you can like rinse off in, maybe.
I would never.
Well, of course, yeah.
Because I wanted
surprise.
I wanted my first wetness to be the pool.
Oh, okay.
I wanted that wet sensation. I wanted to go from dry, hot day to dive/jump into the pool, experience total wetness then.
Dude, where are these public pools you're swimming in?
You know, I was a kid.
Okay.
You go to a pool.
Beach club or
whatever, you know, YMCA bullshit. It always say that. But I would never want that. I would never, because that walk from the shower to the pool, you get cold. It's clinging. Your bathing suit's clinging to you. I don't know, man. I don't like that.
Dude, shout out to all the competitive swimmers who are in the pool at 5 a.m. in the middle of the fucking winter. Like, getting out of bed is impossible to begin with at that time.
I don't get it.
Before school, you're just in a pool and it's freezing. I know you're inside.
It's not cool.
It's not cool. It is not cool.
Swimmers rule. Now, did you see the Chris DiStefano clip where he's on Bert Kreischer's podcast talking about missing his daughter's childhood?
I have not.
He starts crying.
Really?
It's really profound.
Crazy.
He's like, I'm watching my daughter grow up on FaceTime. I'm the only parent that hasn't been to her swim meets. You know, I'm watching her swim through a phone. And he was like, I've made all this money. I've made a ton of money, but I've missed my daughter's childhood or something. It was really moving.
Wow. I gotta check it out.
I commented, I'm so glad that I got to watch this clip so that I can before I have children, so that I can not have children and focus entirely on making money. And people liked that.
Nice, dude.
That's not what I'm going to do, though.
Get a little zinger. I know you have the master plan, dude.
I don't know what the plan is.
You have a rough timeline.
I don't know.
We know, dude. We know you got a little rough time.
Oh, well, man, I go back and forth on the kids thing.
Wanting to have them or not?
No, just thinking it's going to be hard, really hard and totally consuming versus doable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. I have that same inner conversation.
It's just, yeah.
I'm always kind of like, but how am I going to do this if I do that? And then and then I'm just like, all right, I don't know, dude. I guess it'll work out.
Yeah.
That's how I always
People with
end the
less
conversation.
time than us have been having kids for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Think
No,
about
it's true.
that.
Yeah.
And the society moves forward. The
Yeah.
human race soldiers on despite scheduling conflicts.
What do you say? An email or two? And
Yeah,
then
please. I'd like
Get
that.
out of here. Okay, so this is interesting. This is called Ginger Gym Crush. Hello, oops.
Ooh, this is good on the heels of what we just talked
Yeah.
about.
Do you have any advice on how a girl can approach a guy at the gym in a very cool, calm, and collected way? I have this gym crush. He's a tall, ginger, kind of slim guy, carries around a green tote bag, and looks like he reads. I'm like, okay, is this Francis? So I think he's an environmentalist intellectual king.
Okay.
Also Francis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hyperfixating and making my own narrative. But anyway, I think he's cute. For context, I'm a senior in college. I'm guessing this guy's between 23 and 26. I've also seen him out at bars 2 times this past year in Hoboken.
Damn.
You been in Hoboken at all, Francis?
Mm-hmm.
How do I proceed? And then I like this. She goes, oops, Stan, live. Use my name. It's generic. I don't give a shit.
Nice.
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 I think, you gotta smile a lot at this guy and try to get him to notice you and make a plan to go up to the water fountain and fill up your Nalgene or your Hydro Flask or your Camelback at the same time that you see him going up to get a sip, right?
I like that. I like
create
all
a little
that.
bit of proximity. Raise your hands over your heads. Let those pheromones from your sweaty pits seep into his nostrils like Pepe Le Pew. Find a way and get on his radar. And if that doesn't work, then just say fuck it and go up to him and be like, hey, I see you here a lot. Seen you out at the bars. My name's Liv. Wondering if you want to grab a smoothie sometime after a workout.
I like that. I think you could even do something like you could make it funny by being like, "Hey, I'm Liv. I think you're cute. If you want to ask me out, you can." There's something funny to me about the idea of I'm going to ask you out, but you're still going to ask me out. I would respond positively to that personally.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think she needs to say, I think you're cute.
Okay,
I
fine.
think that's implied if she says the second part.
True.
I think giving him too much of a green light is not always the best plan.
So it depends sort of like where these two are at also in their lives. Like,
Right.
is this guy a stretch for you or not? Or do you deem yourself very much like,
It's a major point.
because sometimes like a guy just will never think that he can get a specific girl because she's like out of his league.
Right.
Showing him that he's wrong about that's important. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. You know what my version of that would be is I think writing your number on a napkin. You know what you could do?
Oh, you could totally do that.
This would be cool.
Just give it to him.
Write down like a workout, and then at the end of it, write her number. Be like 10 strict dips,
She's writing him a workout.
25 barbell bench press. This repeat 3x. If you get through that, call me
Oh, that's fun.
and then her number.
It's fun.
I just did it like in X amount of time. There's like a kind of a cool gym element to
fun.
that.
That is fun. You know what my move used to be, dude?
What's that?
If I was trying to pick somebody up at a comedy show, if I like saw somebody that I was like, ooh, like I would either give my number on a napkin as I was leaving or have the host of the show give my number to them.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that would typically at least get a text back.
That's a cool move.
It was
That's a cool
that
guy
did well
move.
for me.
I used to get I've gotten this. I was gonna sound like I'm bragging, but I for whatever reason I did get a lot of napkins with numbers on them sent to me.
I like that.
People would give them
Like when you were sitting at a table?
just out to lunch sometimes. Sometimes I would get them. I got them from gay men. I got them from women. I would get them when I was on dates with the people that I was dating.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'd get them from employees at the places that I was like. There was a matcha place where a girl like I paid and then she like slid a napkin
nice.
over, and then you're like, fuck, I can't come here anymore.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I don't want to embarrass them because I'm not going to text them.
Right.
And yet I care about this matcha. This is a part of my daily routine.
Gotta find a new spot. Fortunately, those matcha places are popping up everywhere. Huh?
I know. Well, it occurred to me. That occurred to me. Like I remember thinking that thought, and then I was like, "This is what women have been dealing with for like decades, if not hundreds of years, of like having to burn
just like
a favorite. They're getting asked out constantly by guys who just aren't reading the signals correctly, and then they feel uncomfortable. This is why the whole workplace dynamic. It's like how do I go to work today knowing that my boss is trying to bang me? Like this is I don't know where to go. There's nowhere else to go.
Right. And then when you reject him, you somehow hurt your
professional trajectory.
Now he's mean to you.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
Yeah, it sucks.
It's fucked up. All right.
Be better, men.
Be better, everybody. I have one. Ryan, hit us.
Oh, Ryan's got a fact for us. We need facts. Keeping the pod honest.
All right, so you mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, you're talking about rice.
Yeah.
You're talking about how much
Remember
rice.
We've come a long way. We got a lot better
rice
from that
you could
rice
buy
combo.
with $1,800. So in the U.S., the average cost of rice is 82 cents per pound. So with $1,800, you can buy about 2,195 pounds of rice.
That's a ton of
like
rice.
An elephant.
That's a ton. Over a ton. And now think about this, right? Think about how much 1 cup turns into. I mean, I don't know from a weight perspective, but once it's filled with the water,
this is uncooked.
You're talking about uncooked rice.
Jesus.
You're talking about I don't know, probably like 5,000 to 10,000 pounds of rice. That would be plenty of rice.
So much rice. Rice is so good, dude.
Yeah.
Here's the podcast. Francis, you're in Boston. You said this weekend.
Yeah, I've already done it. Okay. I've already done it, and it went great. So thank you all. And then and then I'm in Appleton, Wisconsin. Is sort of the last big road date for the time being, and that's June, I think 8th and 9th in Wisconsin. Obviously, tickets for that at francisells.com.
Awesome. In Seattle at the Crocodile, July 28th. I also have dates coming up in Tampa, Wisconsin, Boston. And Charlotte is already on the calendar, but it's in the fall. So I guess you can grab those if you want in October, and more of the dates coming to my website also, notjulio.com. That's a wool.